Witch's Hill.
Hello and welcome back to Witch's Hill. I'm Pat.
I'm Tim.
And today we're going to be doing a Lucky Sevens, but before we get into that, if you have any inquiries, you can send them to witcheshillradio@gmail.com.
And why not join us when we occasionally do Facebook Live?
Yes, you can join us on an episode.
Yes, we occasionally do that, and you can find that at facebook.com/Witches Hill Radio.
Yes.
Now, before we get into our Lucky Seven, I wanted to do an update. From the 4th of July episode we had, we said we were going to look up, see how everyone did.
Yeah, not many people listened.
Not many people listened.
Yeah.
Because I have a couple headlines here that I just wanted to kind of go through.
Yeah, that's fine. We get content out of it.
Oh, man, that's a dark way to look at it.
They lose, we gain.
I mean, you're not wrong.
Yeah, I mean, we got a report on it. Why not?
So, okay, this first one is, the headline is called Man Killed, Another Person Injured in Separate 4th of July Firework Accidents. Now, a 19-year-old man was killed and another person was injured. Manio Juma, who is 19, suffered severe injuries to his upper body after a firework went off in his hand. Officers responded to the 4800 block of Virgil Avenue near Village Creek Road and East Berry Street. When they arrived, police said Juma was in cardiac arrest.
Holy shit.
Officials performed CPR and sent him to the hospital where he was pronounced dead, according to the Fort Worth police. He died from... The official cause of death was blunt force trauma to the chest, according to the county medical examiner.
Holy shit. So, like, there's just, like, the initial explosion. It's like getting punched too hard in the heart. It can literally stop it.
Yeah, I mean, he fucked himself up. I mean, it's
unfortunate.
not fully clear what exactly he was doing, whether he was, like, just holding on to it, whether, as it was said in that last episode, whether he was cooking the grenade too long, or if it was legitimately something that was unintentional.
Yeah, I mean, it could have been something that hit him in the chest, or it could have been just, like, the shock wave was just so close, it just, you know...
Now, we're not moving far for the second one.
Oh, God.
This is also Fort Worth, which I'm just going to say, you know, I was born there, so I'm just kind of like, wow, what the fuck's going on with Fort Worth?
Yeah, that explains a lot.
Now, this happened on the south side of the city. In that incident, a firework exploded in a person's hand as well. The individual, who has not yet been identified, suffered injuries to the upper body and was taken to the hospital. Police said the person survived, but the condition is unknown at this time.
Huh.
Now, Juma's death and the other injury were among more than 450 calls to the Fort Worth Fire Department.
Maybe they should have a little training course on how to not have the firework explode on you, unless it was like an actual accident, because those actually do happen. But
I mean, there were five structure fires and 37 outdoor fires.
makes my sparkler incident doesn't seem too bad now.
You know what? It doesn't.
Yeah, and I was like, I almost said 12. I don't think I was 12, but I was a kid.
I mean, you said you were 12 in the episode, so let's just keep.
12?
Sure.
Yeah, let's just stick with 12. No, I just remember saying like I was a kid. I just don't remember the actual age.
So yeah, I mean, you were at least 12. These,
at least.
All right, now I'm gonna read. Now I got another headline. Muscatine man loses his hand in fireworks accident. 2 others seriously injured.
Were they hit by the fingers?
That would be really ironic.
You know, I've always thought about that. Just like, okay, you lost a hand, but like, where's the person that just got like, oh, I got embedded, I got fingered.
Oh man, that's some intense fingering going on there. So apparently, the man lit a mortar and attempted to throw it before it exploded in his hand. Okay,
Ooh.
Hold on. He was holding a mortar.
Why?
Why were you holding a mortar? Those things are intended to be set on the ground.
I have a question, though, because I've lit off mortars before.
I mean, we had Silver's party that we went to, which we will go into.
Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
We'll talk about that in a minute.
That was fun.
That was great.
But the mortars themselves, they have long wicks. There's a lot of them that have long wicks. And if they have a short wick, you should know not to hold it.
Yeah.
Or, like, stand over it or something.
Yeah.
Does it say if he was, like, intoxicated?
It does not say if he was intoxicated, but it does say, I think this was all from the same incident. A second man lost several fingers in the explosion, and a third man suffered injury to his face, eyes, and ears.
Huh. Okay.
The men were taken to a nearby hospital before being treated in Iowa City. One of the men was airlifted to Iowa City by helicopter, while the other two were transported by ambulance. All three men are expected to recover from their injuries.
I mean, that's good at least.
Yeah.
But, ow.
Now, the Muscatine Police Department responded to over 12 calls during the day and 20 calls after the 10 p.m. deadline for setting off fireworks.
There's a deadline?
I guess in Iowa. I think fireworks is something that just recently became legal there, from what the article is saying.
Oh. They should start doing that here, because everybody does it anyway.
So that's... I mean, that one is just mind-boggling. Now, I got one more article to go through. Now, this one, not exactly firework related. However, 7 die in July 4th accidents in Virginia. This has to do with simply drunk driving.
Which kind of goes hand in hand with the 4th of July. Everybody overconsumes.
Everyone's getting fucking shit-faced. I mean, we were getting pretty shit-faced.
I mean, I killed a bottle of mead in like 5 minutes.
That other bottle of mead you had was really gross.
Yeah, oh god.
It was like a fucking hot pepper.
Yeah, it's called Pirate's Blood. Not exactly up our alley, but if you like mead that has like a spicy kick made with chili peppers, then check it out. It's in like a skull bottle and stuff.
I mean, I will say the bottle is really cool.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Diane actually really liked it.
Well, I can see that easily going good with like cooking and stuff. Like maybe like some ribs or something, I don't know. But yeah, we drank a lot.
Yeah.
We drank a lot.
So I'm not going to go through too much of this article, but pretty much all over the Commonwealth, everyone was getting hammered and fucking driving. And because of that, 7 people are dead.
It doesn't surprise me.
And altogether, the crashes claimed the lives of 4 drivers and 3 passengers. 4 of them were not wearing their seatbelts.
Why? That's just like common knowledge to wear that.
In that area, during this time, I guess the police were also conducting this Operation Combined Accident Reduction Efforts, or CARE. That makes sense, I guess. It was a 3-day statistical counting period where Virginia troopers arrested 79 drunk drivers. In addition, state troopers cited 5,389 speeders and 1,752 reckless drivers, issued 723 citations for individuals for failing to obey the law, and buckle up.
Holy shit.
So, yeah, they were really out in earnest. They were, they were trying to do their job to make sure people were safe.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they couldn't
reach everybody.
They couldn't get to everyone, and 7 people are dead.
No, it's not like that's their fault. It's fucking.
It's not their fault. It's people just being
reckless.
I mean, it's 2019. You shouldn't have to be told that drunk driving is stupid. Don't drink and drive. If you're gonna drink, get a fucking Uber, get a Lyft. I drive for Lyft. I will take you somewhere. Seriously. Okay, so now that we got that out the way, I just wanted to say, for shame for those of you who did not listen to us.
Yeah, and that wasn't a coincidence. But this list is a hefty load of... don't stop me after that word, please.
Because I was going to say, I
said hefty load, and you just put up a finger. No!
That's a great part to end. All right, that's it. See you next time. Before we get back into the Lucky 7, I just wanted to give an update on because there was the GoFundMe for explosives for the poor for Silver Sorensen. We ended up going to the party.
Yeah.
And we had a fucking grand old time.
Yeah, we did everything that we told you not to do.
Yeah, Silver had made a
Gatling gun.
Essentially a Gatling gun of those really, really big
Roman candles.
Like, I'm not talking the normal Roman candles.
No, they were like 1.5 feet long.
Yeah, 1.5 feet long and like 2 inches thick. And he made a Gatling gun and literally was like holding it like a fucking gun, shooting it in the air.
Yeah.
It was so much fun. We were using mortars the right way.
Yes, yes.
They had him in the street, away from everyone, and had a team of people lighting him and stepping away.
Yeah. Yeah, we did it responsibly.
I mean, aside from the Roman candle gun, but, you know.
No, that was fine.
That was fine.
It wasn't like it was aimed at anybody. It was straight up into the air, and it was just spinning in a circle.
I mean, I have to admit, though, I was showing the video to my mom, and she was just cringing, like, that's not safe. And I'm just like, oh, Mom.
Not everything safe is fun. Sometimes you have to go out. I'm not going to go too much into that, but...
So, okay, now that we have the update on the 4th of July out of the way...
Yes.
What is this Lucky 7 about?
Horrifying coincidences, because things line up in really fucking weird ways.
This is a really interesting list, let me tell you.
Yes, and I'm going to start it off on the wrong one.
So let's start off at...
Number 7!
Number 7.
King Umberto I. He was the king of Italy.
Italy.
He was the king of Italy and had went to a restaurant where he met the owner. He kind of looked like him. He found out that they were born on the same day, same town. They both married someone named Margarita. And, not the drink. Unfortunately, one day the king was given word that the restaurant owner had been shot to death in the streets. Later that day, on July 29th, 1900, the king was assassinated in a similar fashion. It seems that we really do have doppelgangers out there that are somewhat sharing similar life experiences.
I'll say, I mean, you both were shot down in the street.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that they didn't have a margarita.
Maybe they were there. Maybe they were holding it and just like, Margarita, I love the way you taste. And then they just get shot. And Margarita was like, what?
Maybe it was their wife because they were just like, it's the wrong margarita.
The wrong. God damn it. Yeah, they accidentally switched wives by accident. Like, they look similar too. This is weird.
That would be really fucking weird.
And then two random stray bullets just come out of nowhere.
Just pew, pew. Ironically, the same day the margarita was born. I really want a margarita now.
Yeah, I kind of want to drink too.
All right, let's move on to number 6.
Yeah, let's talk about Life magazine.
Life magazine?
Yeah, it's a magazine about life.
Do they have an expose on the cereal?
It's extremely I almost said possessive. I was going to say depressing, but either way, it's stupid. No.
Oh, man.
Life magazine's awesome.
Okay.
Everyone knows Life magazine. It's like Time magazine and very hard to miss. Back when it first started, in the first issue, it showed Fort Peck's Dam in Montana. The very first photo in the actual magazine was of a baby named George Story, and the only caption read, "Life begins." Very fitting and humble, if you ask me. George Story even went on to become a journalist. However, on April 4th, 2000, Life announced that they were ceasing publication, or rather, end of life! Yet, only a few days later, George Story passed away at the age of 63 due to heart failure.
That is interesting.
Yeah, in and out with the magazine.
In and out with the magazine.
Life begins, life ends. Do you think he maybe read that? It was like, soon. And then just a couple days later, that happened.
I mean, maybe. I mean, I know there's another one. There's another number on here that I feel like kind of ties with this a little bit, but maybe it's one of those things that it's just like, you create your reality around you. So what if there was some kind of fucking magical spell around this magazine and this man?
So what you're saying is that George Story is a tulpa made by a magazine. I'm gonna move on.
Okay, let's move on to number 5,
which is November 9th.
November 9th.
November 9th. This is I see here we're going a little bit fast, but that's fine. We got a lot of things that are directly to the point. And November 9th does not stray at all. Germany. Yes, Germany, we're looking at you. Germany has a weird connection with November 9th. Many significant and odd things have happened on this day, specifically in Germany. November 9th, 1848. Robert Plum, the man who is to thank for establishing democracy in Germany and Germanic-speaking countries, is executed.
He's executed?
He's executed.
Oh.
Yeah, I felt like I had to make eye contact with that one.
and do the voice?
Yeah.
Okay. That's, I mean... Yeah.
Coming this summer. Democracy. Germany's like, I don't know about that.
No, we're going to kill this guy.
November 9th, 1918. Germany's first democracy is established called the Weimar Republic. Weimar?
If we get it wrong, Someone will let us know.
Yeah, we're not from Germany. We're sorry.
Yeah, that's fine.
Weimar Republic. November 9th, 1923. Hitler and his gang try to overflow the Weimar Republic with the Berkeller Pushk. I think I'm saying that. Berkeller Pushk.
I'm more laughing at the fact that you said they're going to overflow.
Did I say overflow?
Yeah, they're releasing the hydrants. We're going to flush them out.
Oh my god. Well, a year later, on November 9th, 1924, Hitler creates the SS.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah. And it wasn't overflow, it was overthrow.
Okay.
Either way, that can overflow the Weimar, I guess.
Yeah.
He just walks in and is like, prepared to be overflowed. Everybody gets confused, and while they're being confused, they get shot.
That sucks.
That really sucks. I don't want to die thinking about that.
No.
Like, what did he say? November 9th, 1938. Hitler releases his horror upon the Jewish communities, which is known as the Kristallnacht, also known as Night of Broken Glass. And that's when everything went even further downhill.
That's pretty much when he really started getting into action.
Yeah. I guess, for a lack of better words, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, bad things happened. I mean, if you know anything about World War II, you know what followed.
Yeah.
But we're going to skip World War II and go right to 1989. Still November 9th. The Berlin Wall finally comes down.
Okay.
So yes, November 9th is a fucking roller coaster of events in German history. Makes you wonder if people caught on to this and just kind of stuck with the number and the dates, or whether it was like a cosmic fluke of some sorts. But I can't help but hear the Beatles' number 9 playing in my head as I was researching this.
Number 9.
Yeah, I was like, number 9.
Number 9.
And then, imagine that it's like on my right side, and then on the left side, it was just some German dude going, 9! Yeah, you know?
Oh, no.
Yeah, so like... I don't know, it's just
What's-
because I had to research it.
What's up with November 9th, Germany?
I don't know. Maybe there's even like further dates before 1848. That was just like November 9th, guys. This is a day. Why is it that day? We're not quite sure, but let's stick with this.
I'm curious about that. That's interesting.
Maybe somebody put a curse on it, or like some type of like a repeat thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe they had like a Germanic coven out there, and they're just like, you are destined to repeat the 9th.
Well, I mean, it seems like there's been both, because in 89, the Berlin Wall fell. So it seems like it's kind of a mix of both bad and good. It just seems like significant events happen on that day.
Well, I mean, the Berlin Wall fell, yeah, but like everything else was just bad. Besides, like, oh yeah, democracy got here, but the dude who founded it is dead now. And then like a couple years later, it was trying to be overthrown, and then was overthrown. So I can't say that it leans heavily towards the good. It's more like, ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
More like a shit pizza with a little bit of goodness in there, but still a shit pizza.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd be eating a shit pizza, but
I'm just hungry, so I'm thinking about pizza.
there's a lot of cheese on this.
Oh, no.
All right, moving on. Number 4, the Nailers.
The Nailers?
Yes.
Are they going to nail?
Not spelled the same way.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Like, nay.
Okay. So, who are the Nailers?
Margaret and John Naylor were a very unfortunate couple that lived in Ireland. It was the start of World War I, and it was all the rage, and things were taking off in all the wrong directions. John joined the Royal Dublin Fusiliers and was called to war to fight in the trenches in France. Margaret stayed behind in Dublin to raise their 3 children, who at the time were all 6 years old. On April 29th, 1916, John sadly died in the trenches due to gas, which is an extremely painful and brutal death.
Oh, it's mustard gas.
Yes.
Fuck yeah, that's just gonna fuck you up.
Yeah, the gas would cause blisters on the lung and the throat if inhaled. Even if you got it on your skin, it would still cause blistering and soak into the fabrics of the fibers of anything and everything that you wore. So there was like no escaping this. Now, remember, this was in 1916, and in Ireland had its own problems going on at the time due to them fighting for their independence. The same day that John had perished, Margaret decided to brave the outside to go get food for her children. As she was crossing the Ringsend drawbridge, she was shot once in the head and died. She went down in history as the first woman to be killed in the Easter Week Rising. Neither her or her husband could have imagined the unfortunate destiny that would leave their children orphaned. The incident was even reported in the Irish Times.
So this husband and wife were killed the same fucking day in completely different countries.
Yeah.
That's fucked up.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, it's more realistic that you'd hear about the husband dying rather than just the mom walking out and getting shot.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you would really hear about the husband dying because, I mean, this is war. Thousands upon thousands of people are going to be killed in the trenches.
So that's what I meant, is that it's more likely to hear that not actually reported. I just meant like, because he's at war, it's more likely for him to die than the mom just to walk outside and get shot by a bullet.
Yeah,
whatever.
One random bullet.
Yeah, right to the head.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, super fucked up, but...
Feel bad for those kids.
Yeah, no shit.
Hopefully they made a difference for Ireland.
Hopefully, I'm not too well versed in history, but yeah, on at least this subject. But,
well, I'm rooting for your homeland there, Patty boy.
Thank you, Aaron Gobra. So dainty.
So now let's move on to number 3.
Number 3 is Mark Twain. Everybody knows Mark Twain. He's that guy that rode a horse. No, he's an author. Every 75-ish years we're visited. You coughed while I was talking.
I'm sorry.
Mark Twain's going to write a story about this.
Isn't he dead?
You just ruined the story.
Oh, no.
Mark Twain, every 75-ish years, we're visited by Halley's Comet. It's been seen since 239 BC and has been recorded during historical events such as William the Conqueror's invasion of England. Most people say that this comet actually represents change. In the 1800s, Mark Twain was born just a few short weeks after Halley's Comet had actually visited us again. This was noticed by a lot of people, including Twain himself. 1909 began, and Twain knew Halley's Comet was on its return. Twain took it upon himself to release a statement that will embed itself in the fabric of history. I came in with Halley's Comet, it's coming again, and I expect to go out with it. The Almighty has said, no doubt, now here are these two unaccountable freaks. They came in together, they must go out together. The following year, on April 21st, Mark Twain took his last breath as Halley's Comet passed overhead and vanished into the unknown, bringing the remarkable Mark Twain with it. Now that's fucking spooky, knowing that, like, your death is coming. Like, once that thing gets back here...
See, this is the one I was talking about earlier. I feel like, he put out a statement beforehand saying, oh, I was born just after this comet, I'm going to die right after this comet. What if he created his reality?
I mean, it's possible. I mean, it could also just be the fact that, like, he just identified with something like, oh, this happened around my time, so once this happens again, it's just like in, out. You come in one door, you go out the other door. So it's just like, he may have, like, believed so much into it that, you know how people can literally die of a broken heart?
Yeah.
Because they put so much emphasis on being, like, with somebody or around something. You can literally kill yourself by focusing so much on something. Maybe that was one of those things that he just believed so much that he was just like, all right, off, and just dropped.
Yeah. I mean, the mind is a crazy, crazy fucking thing that, let's be honest, we really don't fully understand.
No.
So it's possible that he could have honestly just convinced himself so much that he made his thoughts a reality.
Maybe he was an alien.
Mark Twain was an alien.
Yeah, and that was a spaceship. It just passed overhead and just quickly beamed him up, and he's like, ah! And, like, his human form just slumps to the ground.
His meat suit just falls down.
Yeah.
While he was absorbed by the fucking... Who is the cult that fucking... There was a cult all about Halley's Comet. Heaven's Gate. It was
Heaven's Gate.
Heaven's Gate. Okay, so that it was close.
Yeah, I was thinking Far Cry.
Yeah, maybe they were onto something. They were trying to follow Mark Twain. Oh, no.
You trying to say Mark Twain started a cult?
No.
Read my book.
I mean, have you seen that fucking...
Maybe he just drank the Kool-Aid as it passed over. He's like, ah!
Oh, no. I mean, fuck, have you seen that one claymation thing about Huckleberry Finn, and it was all about Mark Twain?
I forgot it wasn't like the Misadventures of Mark Twain or something like that.
Something like that. There was that dark fucking scene where it's just like,
the devil.
Who are you? An angel. An angel? What's your name? Satan.
Yeah, and it's just holding up like a stick with a white mask on it, and the mask itself is changing, but there's no actual head.
Yeah, and the mask keeps turning into a skull.
Yeah, I love that.
It's really so cool. Good. It's so good.
But moving on.
Let's move on to these last two.
Yeah, these last two are...
I thought these last two were fucking crazy. Well,
yes.
So without further ado, let's go to number 2.
Number 2, going along with the whole gothic horror trend that we were just talking about, and death and weird shit. Let's talk about some Edgar Allan Poe. How about that? And Richard Parker.
Richard Parker. Okay.
Great-great-great-grandfather to Peter Parker. Without the powers. I don't know.
Yep, sunk that one. All right,
anyway. Edgar Allan Poe had written his novel, his only one, mind you, about a ship out at sea. Pym is a stowaway on a whaling ship. Things get rough when the crew mutinies and people start fighting. Unfortunately, almost everyone dies. Then a storm hits. What?
Everyone dies in the mutiny.
Yeah.
Whew.
Things get rough when the crew mutinies and people start fighting. Unfortunately, almost everyone dies. Then a storm hits, making matters worse and causing them to get lost and stranded, or rather adrift. They manage to kill a turtle for food, but as you can guess, that's not enough to satiate the remaining crew. It comes down to the old draw straw scenario, and if you grab the shortest straw, well, you were killed and eaten. This happens to Richard Parker, a mutineer, and after he is devoured, the remaining crew are rescued to live out their trauma on land. Well, this is just a story, kinda. It wasn't until 46 years later that this tale actually happened. The story was published in 1838, yet in 1884 it became a reality. The Mignonette was sailing from England to Australia. I'm pretty sure I'm saying that right. A storm had hit the ship hard, though a slight saving grace would be the fact that there was no mutiny, though 4 men were set adrift in a dinghy, and as you can imagine, they hadn't time to pack food or fresh water. So what did they do? They caught a turtle for food and ate it.
Oh, man.
Yeah, but as time went on, they found themselves pushed into a corner, and they agreed that one of them had to die and be eaten so that the rest may live. The youngest of them had been drinking seawater and had become terribly ill. Well, this made things easy for the picking. Plus, the young man had no family that would actually miss him. He was a drifter adrift.
Oh, you even do the little fucking drum beat there?
Had to. He was a drifter adrift. The men were found only 4 days later, and they still had the young man's remains on the dinghy, eating what they could. Oh, his name was also Richard Parker.
That's fucking creepy!
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Super spooky.
That one is, I thought that one was fucking nuts.
Yeah. It's weird how things happen like that. It's like, I guess one of the honorable mentions that we could talk about is like the whatchamacallit for the Titanic. Like the great ship, the Titan, will go out at sea and there'll be a bunch of lives lost. I think it was like Nostradamus or somebody saw this and prophesized that it was actually going to happen. But instead of being called the Titan, it was the Titanic. Very similar, like almost to a T. But before we get to number 1, let's give out a couple other of honorable mentions. All right, so one of the honorable mentions that we'll actually talk about just really quick is Death City, Vienna. Yeah, Stalin, Hitler, and Franz Josef, collectively responsible for like 80 million fucking deaths, all lived in Vienna at the same time.
What?
Yeah, 1984. Haha! You don't know if I'm lying if you're bad at history. Ha!
So you're saying that's just a history test for everyone?
Yeah, it's a history test. Everything I said was true, but maybe not the year.
Maybe not.
Yes, because I made them sad, let's talk about baby blues. In the early 1930s, Joseph Figlock was walking down the street when a baby fell out right onto his shoulders. Little baby, he took it and ate it. No, he didn't actually do that, but he did catch it and neither was harmed. But
that is quite a coincidence to have a baby just kind of... thank God for this guy. You just caught a baby.
Can you imagine if it just landed on him and the baby was so heavy? He's just like, you broke my shoulders!
That would have to be one big fucking baby.
Maybe it was like just a really big fat dude with one of those like baby complexes. And he's like, wah.
Oh no.
Well, the same thing literally happens to him a year later. Same baby, same person, same spot.
Okay, what the fuck is up with those parents?
Well, it's the 30s. Remember, I told you, they had those cages outside the windows and stuff. Maybe the bottom just slipped out. It was just like a bad game of Connect 4 and the baby dropped.
Okay, but still, if that happens to your baby, you would freak the fuck out.
Apparently not those parents.
Not those parents, because it happens a fucking again.
Remember when you fell out the window twice? Yeah, you're a good mother.
Fuck those parents. Oh my god.
So yeah, watch out for falling babies.
Apparently, fuck.
Yeah. But speaking of other fucked up weird things that were happening that by chance, I know this is called coincidences, but seriously, this one is just like, you want to smack people in the face for this one. During World War I, the British made a passenger vessel called the RMS Carmina into a battleship. They then disguised it as a German passenger liner called the SMS Cap Trafalgar. On September 14th, 1914, it sank a German vessel off the coast of Brazil. The vessel it sank was the real SMS Trafalgar, which the Germans had disguised as the RMS Carmina. So, yeah, imagine being on that ship, looking over and be like, "That's us! They're fake! Phony!" And then blow them up.
Yeah, big phony!
And they're just like, "Did you hear Americans?" And then just, they explode.
That is one hell of a fucking coincidence.
Yeah.
Each ship is disguised as the other ship.
Yeah, and think about it. Like, at the time, like, everybody was all over the place. It was World War One. The coincidence of them being in the same area, let alone seeing and firing upon each other, is, like, astronomically low.
Yeah, that's fucking intense.
Yeah, I called that one Holy Ship. One of the, I think there's one more. Yeah, there's one more honorable mention.
Okay.
This one is just about things coming around again, something that you may have lost, and like, you know, like when you put something there, like, fuck, where'd it go? Well, I think this is exactly what happened to Anne Parrish. She was an American author. She loved a childhood book called Jack Frost and Other Stories. She found it in a bookstore and brought it home. Her husband, after being told how much she adores the book, opened it to find Anne Parrish, North Weber Street, Colorado, written on the inside. It was her fucking book from childhood.
That's fucking crazy. I can't believe that it's like, after all this time, it finds its way back to her.
I'm just wondering if it was in the same town that she had, like, grown up in, or if she, like, went across seas or something. It's just like, I'm just gonna buy this book, and it's literally hers. Can you imagine how crazy that would be?
That would be fucking insane.
Just like, oh, yeah, I was born in America, or I was born wherever, and I went to, like, Argentina, and there's my book.
That would be even crazier, yeah.
Yeah, it's just, what the fuck?
Alright, so now, let's get to number one.
Number one. If you don't like deep water, you're gonna fucking hate this one.
This one's amazing. This one's just amazing.
Yeah. Violet Jessup, number one. Talk about an unfortunate mess for Violet. She managed to find herself aboard three of the largest ships in history. The Olympic, the Britannic, and the Titanic. All three of which were the largest ships at the time from White Star Lines. Violet was an Irish nurse who lived in Argentina at the time. In 1911, she boarded the Olympic when it crashed into the HMS Hawke. Now, this wasn't an incident where the ship sank, but rather just heavy damage and injuries and stuff. Her friends convinced her that the Titanic would hold more exciting adventures. And they were right. Pinpoint.
Yeah, you could say that again.
Surprisingly, she was one of the survivors that was actually pulled from the icy waters by the Carpathia. Too bad Jack didn't have her luck.
Fucking Rose.
Fucking hate Rose.
Rose is a bitch.
Just quick note, throwing that diamond in at the end of that movie, what a bitch. It's like, you guys are looking for this? Fetch. No, seriously, come on now. Well, she was determined to get back onto another ship.
Why?
Because she's got balls of steel.
Fuck yeah, she does.
Yeah, she boarded the Britannic, which found itself drafted into a war as a nursing/hospital ship during the First World War. Guess what? It hit a fucking mine.
Oh.
Violet made her way to the lifeboat, thinking things would be okay. But then she noticed that the ship that was sinking was pulling the lifeboats towards the propellers.
Whoa!
Other lifeboats that were too close were getting chopped into pieces, and survivors' remains were being splattered all over the place.
I mean, I don't know if survivor was the right word to use there.
They were survivors until they touched the propeller.
They thought they were survivors.
Big whammy, no money, stop.
Oh, no.
Can you imagine that, like throwing a wet mango into a really fast fan? That's what I hear in my head.
Oh.
There goes Marcus, no!
Oh, man, you're following Juliet.
Oh my god. As her boat was being pulled, she actually dove from the boat and hit her head. The injury was one that stayed with her until she died, giving her daily headaches. But no, she didn't die there. She actually survived and went back to working on ships until the 1950s.
Why?
She's a fearless hero, and there's no doubt about that.
Oh my god, that is insane.
Yeah.
And I have to say, she's definitely a fucking badass.
Oh, hell yeah.
You were on 3 of the biggest ships. I mean, first off, White Star liners. What the fuck's up with you guys at the beginning of the century? Come on.
Well, I mean... the
3 giant ships?
Yeah, but the idea back then was that the metals that they were using were supposed to be, like, durable, strong, yet they...
You're bullshit!
Well, I mean, it was the 1900s. I mean, they were still giving people heroin and, like, here, take some codeine with Coke.
I mean,
you have a cough.
I have to admit, looking at the ingredient list for old cough medicine makes me really wish that we could have that. I mean, yeah, you don't want to have a cough? Here, take this. You're going to get knocked out for a week. You won't have a cough.
Yeah, our baby's on mescaline.
I mean, it's better than fucking a cough medicine now that just doesn't do shit. But
yeah.
Anyway, I digress.
But yeah, that's number 1. And yeah, if you find yourself on ships that are sinking, remember to channel your inner Violet Jessup because you'll survive.
Yeah, you will survive if you channel that.
But seriously, spinning blades, getting sucked into that, like...
God, it's fucked up.
Oh, talk about the mental scar about that afterwards.
Yeah, I don't know how she got back on ships afterwards.
Maybe she's forced.
That's... If she's working on ships, she's not forced.
Maybe she's inside. She just doesn't go out, like, outside to look at the water. She just stays inside and... They're just like, you're not on the boat. She's like, oh, I calmed down. And somebody says, like, oh, did you see the high waves? She just starts shaking and punching people.
That's when the headache sets in.
Yeah.
Oh.
She's not herself. She's the first person to ever get Hulk syndrome.
Oh my god.
Yeah. Instead of turning green, she turns blue.
Well, this was a fascinating list.
Oh, yeah. One of our more shorter episodes, but it was more towards the point than...
Yeah, it's okay. You know what? I kind of like having these occasional relaxed episodes with the Lucky Sevens. You know, it's kind of nice. Kind of really taking it easy.
Yeah, I just wish you put clothes on for this episode, but that's okay. That's another
No, I'm going to sit spread-legged. You got to watch.
Yeah, it's pretty hot in here. It's getting musky.
It's getting so musky.
So musky.
Don't mind me if I fan myself.
I smell bacon.
Well, anyway, as always, you could like, subscribe, follow, click that bell, stay notified.
Yes, send us all your fun little shit and like go on Facebook and join our Facebook group and our business page to stay informed on more things that are coming up. And if you're on Instagram, follow us at Let's Talk Horror.
Or, you know, we could tell you about the...
I thought you were just going to be like, or don't.
I mean, or don't. I mean, you could suck.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could, but...
I mean, are you going to want to be that guy?
Yeah, it'd be a lot cooler if you did.
Well, until next time, we will see you guys next Wednesday.
At 6. Next Wednesday. Specifically next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday. We're going to see them. I don't know how, but through the radio waves, I'm going to find a way. I'm going to see each and every one of you. Well, I will fucking see you.
Jesus. Whoa. Yeah, we got to go live sometime soon, but until then, stay notified.
Stay notified.
Later.
Peace.
Witches Hill.